Hello, everybody. This is Charles Alvarez, CEO of Cornerstone. First and foremost, I want to wish all of you a fun, memorable, and hopefully relaxing Memorial Day. It's still amazing to me how many people selflessly give to our country for the freedoms we get to enjoy today. It's actually my son's graduation yesterday, and they had something like 20 graduating students that are going into the military, four of which are going to West Point, which is one of my favorite schools in the country. So, hope you have a safe and relaxing and fun-filled weekend. What I want to talk to you about today is properly choosing the target market to go after as you're doing cold outreach. And this is something that I kind of got a taste of my own medicine this week. So I'm going to start with a story. So a couple of weeks ago, our VP of Business Development, Sean Ojani, said, "Hey, we should be really going after chief financial officers." And I said, "We set up qualified sales appointments and close sales on behalf of our clients. Why do we go after the CFO?" And the answer he gave, I really didn't buy into, but I kind of just left it there, and it kept nagging at me in the back of my brain. But I'll get there in just a second. So anyway, a couple of weeks go by, and this week, as God I think would have it, I had three wonderful appointments with CFOs at technology companies, software development companies, technology companies, and professional service companies. And I realized that I was wrong, that these people had legitimate pain. They were very challenged by the productivity and the output of their sales team. And they were looking at it from a financial aspect, whereas, the sales manager, because obviously they get somewhat close to their sales team, they kind of lose a little bit of that objectivity. And then as I was thinking about subjects to create for this video, I was like, you know what? This is something I need to talk about this week in our video blog. And one of the biggest struggles that our clients have is selecting the right target market to go after in their cold outreach. And that's what we do for our clients. We let our clients take care of their existing relationships. We're in the business of helping our clients get new relationships and get new business. And the reason I think clients struggle so much is very much the reason that I dismiss Sean for going after CFOs, which is when we start a business, if you look at most entrepreneurs in the professional services space, technology service space, what ends up usually happening is they work for another company for 10, 15 years. And then they have an idea on how they can do it better, on how they can do it faster or cheaper, or maybe they just want more autonomy in their lives, or they just have a financial objective, or they always wanted to own their business, whatever the case might be. It only makes sense that who do you go to first to generate sales? Well, you go to people that you know and like and trust. And why wouldn't you? That makes all the sense in the world. However, you're given somewhat of a false positive, which is that, okay, I built my business talking to CEOs, chief sales officers, chief operating officers, CTOs, without realizing that it took me, 5, 10, 15 years to build those relationships. And at one point, they were complete strangers. So one of the challenges that we see pretty much across the board, with very few exceptions, is with our clients, especially when they've had their own internal business development efforts or hired a lead generation firm or appointment setting firm. One of the things that we find one of the reasons that they struggled is because they were going after people that were too high in the organization. Let me give you an example. So we have a client that we are now his third lead generation firm that he has used. And we got on the first phone call, and his target market were companies in the $50 to $200 million range. And he wanted to target CEOs and chief operating officers for their CRM software. Okay. And our team asked a very good question, which is, why do you want to go after those people? And they said, well, that's who we've always gone after. Those are the decision makers. Here's what we've found out about sales, especially outreaching to cold prospects, is yes, the C-suite might be the decision maker. They might write the check. They may sign the agreement. But here's the issue. People only make a change in their life if there is pain and suffering. I don't go to the doctor unless I'm in pain. I don't switch IT providers unless my previous IT provider is doing a bad job. I don't switch CRMs unless I have a good business case or a challenge or a pain with my existing CRM. That's just the way that it is. So the way that it works now, we have found to be very successful, is we want to be able to separate decision makers and evaluators. I'm not even using the word influencer here. I'll get to that in just a second. But I would say evaluators. And once we started asking the following question, which I'm about to share with you, not only did our business explode, but so have our clients. And instead of asking who the decision maker is or who the influencer is, okay, we want to know who the evaluator is. And we ask a very, very important question that if you have the courage to think about it thoroughly and truly, it could make you a lot of money and make your company's growth virtually limitless, at least from a sales and opportunity creation standpoint. We can get into the fulfillment side later. That's a different story, obviously. But in terms of generating new opportunities, if you can answer this question with courage and humility, as I should have done when my chief sales officer told me that we should be going after CFOs, you can make a lot of money. And here it is. Here's a question. What is the lowest senior title or titles that is experiencing the challenge that your product or service can fix? Let me say that again. What are the lowest senior title or titles that are experiencing the pain or challenge that your software, that your technology, that your professional service or IT service can fix and address? Okay? Because those are the people that are going to be evaluating your solution because they're the ones feeling pain. Like I said earlier, people are 10 times more likely to avoid pain than seek pleasure. There are multitude of studies that prove that to be true. Okay? So as you're evaluating who your target market is, instead of asking who the decision maker is, which that will happen in the sales cycle, if you get to that point and do a good job during the initial stages, you'll get to the decision maker. But just like I am not going to evaluate a CRM, or I'm not going to evaluate a list provider because we have people that are experiencing that pain to a greater degree than I am, same thing goes with you. A CEO is not going to want to talk about doing due diligence on a CRM or any other software package or service. Most of the time, CEOs want to talk about how can I generate more sales, or how can I build a better culture inside of my organization? Okay, so very rarely does it make sense to go after the CEO of a company unless they are extremely small. Okay, if you want to have this conversation together, because we've done this now for over 300 companies and we've gotten very successful at it. If you would like to have a conversation, a confidential conversation on really who your target market is, who are the evaluators, who are the decision makers, who are the influencers, and why each of those categories are important, simply click the calendar link below. It's a HubSpot link. It's a safe link. It gets direct access to my Google Calendar, and select a 15, 30, 60-minute call, whatever your heart's desire is, and let's have a confidential conversation about it. It'll be a truly no obligation call. If you want to continue the conversation, great. If you don't want to continue the conversation, great. I hope you take the information that we discussed and make a bajillion dollars out of it. But please, I would love the opportunity to serve you. Please click the link below. Let's have a conversation, and let's start accelerating your growth to the better. Take care.